You may notice I have here a couple of what are deemed horrid, deadly machine gun assault rifles. This is a big thing since the horrible church shooting that happened. 2 children dead, 11 others, I believe, injured, a couple of adults also injured, I think total 17. But just terrible. This mental patient, evil, demonic, decided, they needed some attention. They were angry with the world because even though they changed their name to a girl name and put in pigtails and started wearing skirts, they were still the same miserable, angry, mentally ill, degenerate demon that they were. And to solve that problem, these nuts decide to open fire on children. So, of course, the political parties get involved, and because it's and it doesn't fit the bill, they would have loved if it was a white supremacist or a Trumper, MAGA, actually had a gun with Kill Trump written on it, and various magazines that had just horrific writing on it, tributes to serial killers and mass shooters of the past, and just all kinds of mental patient shit. So they're now all in again with this, we need to ban assault weapons. Well, this fucking nut had a pistol and a shotgun too. Thank God this moron freak wasn't capable of doing the damage that he could have done with what he had, with the equipment that he had. Thank God. I've been hearing stories that the church pews actually saved a lot of the people and the kids. They got down and underneath these church pews. And if you've been to church, you know that, these things are just long benches. They got wooden backs and wooden seats. And, I think you'd be hard pressed to get a good angle on anybody that's hiding under there. Nice barrier, wood. So thank God that helped. And I guess when the heat was on and people started closing in on this nut, they decided to blow their own fucking mentally ill brain out of their head. So that's good. Unfortunately, 2 kids were killed, many others injured. So, there's no consolation to those parents. But just looking at it, looking at the situation and looking what could have happened, man, it could have been really, really, really bad. Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
Hello, I'm Gavin McInnes.
And together we're Compound Censored.
And we would like you to subscribe with this deal using this promo code right below me right now.
Do it, because it's very entertaining. And it was terrible. And again, no consolation for the parents of the dead kids or even the wounded kids. But, so the Democrats have started that these are the problem, not the mental patients, not this trend of evil, angry, violent. I'm going back to, by the way. Sorry. Do they allow that on YouTube? Maybe not. Maybe I got to say, just to get it out there, I could be the rebellious guy and not have a YouTube channel. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? I love when people say that. Why don't you just say it? Say it on YouTube, fucking. That'd be great. Now I don't have any platform. Good, thank you. Thank you for your advice that I won't take. So maybe I have to say But in my in my private life, just like dropping N-bombs, I will not give the dignity of saying transgender. And I do believe there are truly transgender people. I've said this before. It's such an anomaly. It's such a medical, psychological anomaly. 1 in billion, it could be. I was talking to Gavin yesterday, and I said, I don't think there's more than 25 real transgender people in this country. 25 out of 350 million people. 25 that have some type of genetic anomaly that really does affect them in that psychologically, certain physical attributes seem to be female in a male body. And I'm not even including the other way around. If you're a woman that wants to be a man, I don't even believe that's a thing at all, ever. I don't think that's ever a thing. I don't think there's a physical anomaly. I think it's mental illness. Just like all the men that think they're women. Mental illness. But I think male to female, there is some type of weird genetic anomaly that happens every 10,000 years, perhaps. Whatever it is. And the number is so rare and scarce. It would be like seeing the unicorn, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster. But all the rest of them are mentally disturbed, mentally ill men that are trying in some way to fit into something. Or they have a kink for dressing like women. But the one thing they retain, no matter how much they say they're women, one thing they retain is this male anger and violent tendency. And it's magnified. And they take all of that frustration for not being accepted by society as a woman because you're a fucking man. And all that frustration and anger, they take it out on society. Whether it's yelling in a store that you're ma'am, threatening people at a protest. Yes, say that over here. I'll kick your fucking ass. Well, excuse me, madam. Ooh, I didn't know Milady was going to get so upset that she was going to come over here and kick my ass. Ooh. They're men. Very angry men. You go into a bar and you want to sit down and have a drink and you hear some ruckus over at the pool table with a jukebox, and you look over, you just see a guy, and he's a little half in the bag, and he's just like, yeah, well, fuck that, because I ain't fucking. And you go, yeah, that's like an irrational, angry guy. We all know what that is. That's what every guy to girl is. That's it. It's that angry guy in a dress and a wig with the same capability and the same potential to commit violence against people as that drunk guy. Now go up to the drunk guy and go, "What's wrong with you? You seem like a mental patient." He's going to start swinging at you. It's not going to be a rational discussion. That's what women are. Angry, violent men. And they can't wait to perpetrate violence against the people that they see as bullying them. Meanwhile, it's not bullying. It's ignoring. They consider ignoring them as bullying them. If you don't cheer them on and celebrate the fact that a guy that looks like someone you worked in a warehouse with now has a blonde wig on and earrings and a dress, if you don't celebrate that, you're bullying. And that person wants to now kick your ass like any proper lady would want to do. For all they fucking preach about women are women. They are women. They act more masculine and more violent, like male-oriented violence than most men, than most regular men. Regular men are, pretty rational for the most part. A fight is something to be avoided. I'm talking for the most part. Overall, rational dude. Violence is to be avoided. De-escalation is a thing. Sticks and stones, you just don't fucking really pay attention to it. Women, men, angry, violent men, they are on this fucking fast track to who can I go after to make up for all the anger I feel. And why are you angry? Woman, why are you angry, lassie? Because you're not a woman. Your entire life is dedicated to this illusion, this delusion that you are as much a woman as any woman that was born with a vagina and ovaries and a womb. You are exactly the same. And these enabling fuckwads that are directly responsible for the shit like we saw at that church, whether you're a liberal holding up a sign, whether you're a parent that's deforming their children, you have some responsibility in the shit we saw with these kids getting killed and injured at the church. Yeah. You're all little fucking pieces of Dr. Frankenstein. Not just one Dr. Frankenstein. You all make up. You're all little organisms in this thing that is Dr. Frankenstein. And you're creating monsters that walk around harming people because they look in the mirror and go, they're monsters. You think Frankenstein was happy when he looked in the mirror and went, holy fuck, I got a flat head, I got bolts, top of my head sewn on? That's what transgender women, men, that's how they feel all the time. And everybody was celebrating this when they were creating these monsters, these violent monsters. And we get what we got. We get what we fucking got. They, like I said, spend their lives with this delusion that they are as much a woman as any woman. And it is 110% not true. And they get frustrated. Who wouldn't? Imagine living your life as something and you're not. You think you are. You're trying to. You're not. And every time you try to put yourself forward as this thing, you're laughed at and mocked. Of course. Holy fuck. Who wouldn't get frustrated? But most sane people realize, maybe I should move on. Maybe I should move on to something else. People are kind of laughing at me for doing this. And I could go into an Opie break right now, but I won't. Move on. They move on, do something else that people aren't laughing at you and you're not really achieving your goal here. Well, women, men can't do that. They just push forward because with every mocking they get from society, with every look in the mirror that they realize they're a monster, there's someone around, liberals, a community of caring, liberal, people and politicians and Madison Avenue and Holly Fuckwood that pat them on the back and go, you are beautiful. You are a woman, and you're a beautiful woman and a beautiful person, and it doesn't matter what these bigots think. And then they go, yeah, I am. And they step out the door, and the villagers are there with the pitchforks, the torches, and they go, again. And that happens so much that in their mentally ill brain, they go, I just got to kill motherfuckers. I just got to pull out some guns and kill motherfuckers because I am not happy. And these people are making me miserable. And meanwhile, they're not making you miserable. You're making yourself miserable. You're torturing yourself with this delusion that you're a woman. And as I said before, I didn't really elaborate on it much. Lesbians, men, women that want to become men, that's just this freaky fucking thing. That isn't real at all, ever. Not even an anomaly. That's just freakish weirdness, tomboy attention. They may have been abused by men growing up, and they despise men and somehow think it's empowering to become one. Now they don't have to be with men. They could be with women in some twisted version of a heterosexual relationship. But that's just a weird thing. They're angry too, mind you. But inside, deep down, they're women. They want to be men. They grow the speckled chin beard. They wear the hat backwards, coveralls. They walk around like this. And then when push comes to shove, if there's a fight, they're a girl. They just start hitting you like a girl hits. Because inside, like the woman is a man, a violent, angry man with every potential to lash out as any other angry man would or could. Inside a man who is a woman, they're women. They're not overly aggressive. Hormones definitely have something to do with it, and might increase it a bit. But, you know, the true story there, that is a woman in there. And she doesn't want to fucking face off and start duking it out. But they're angry and they're frustrated. They'll yell. They'll hold up their little signs, you know, I'm a man. You know, people are people, all that shit. But when it comes to, you know, loading up and fire, and there was an instance where there was a girl who professed to be a boy that did shoot up a school. So I'm not saying it doesn't happen. The anger can't get to that rate. And that's where I think a lot of times these psychotropic drugs that they put these kids on and the hormone treatment will put them over the edge and cause such psychosis that that anger will manifest itself into lashing out with deadly violence in some cases. But it's mostly the men trying to pull off that they're women. It's just ridiculous. So the politicians have come out and they realize they can't really get on this guy too much because it's, and they're out there saying all kinds of shit. You know, we can't have this affecting the community. We don't want people lashing out at the community. Are you out of your fucking mind? Dead kids. And you're worried about the fucking community? What a bad time to bring that up. Who was that? I might even have that. No, maybe I have it on my other prep, but that's okay. So I figured I'd put a couple of what they call assault rifles there. You know, a couple of assault rifles. And we'll just check during the course of the show. I put them on camera. If they move, if they rack themselves, if they pull the slide back and chamber a round, because rounds aren't chambered in there, and see if they fire. See if any lives are taken by these deadly, horrible weapons of war, the assault weapon. There's also one back there, over here. That one, that is a 50 caliber Barrett. That's crazy. That'll blow your fucking arm right off your body. And it is considered an assault weapon. And I've had that behind me during every show for quite some time now. I don't know how I even do a show. Maybe because I could see it with the monitor. If it moves, starts turning toward me. But this is their logic. They don't want the shooters, in any case, whether they're or their political ideology, gang-related, some fucking mental patient, whatever it may be, they never want to put the responsibility on that. When they're white, they do. That's when they kind of say, well, this is obviously the racism in this country or white people. So they'll do that. But anything where it's me or this or that, then there's going to be a problem. So they go to the guns and they want to get rid of assault weapons. That's their big thing now. And this time they all got the same script. I believe it's the thoughts and prayers. The prayers do nothing. I don't want to hear your prayers. We need sensible gun legislation. Well, there is sensible gun legislation. If I was in New York, you wouldn't see these two guns on my shelf. Wouldn't see them. So, New York, they tried their sensible gun legislation, and you still have a shitload of murders with pistols, This is pretty much what is used in the multitude of shootings that happen nationwide. A pistol, usually stolen. It's usually gang-related in some way. And if you think you're taking pistols away from people, you want to ban these. That's what they say. We need to ban assault weapons. Well, what'll that do? They look cool. I don't know many people who don't think, the AR-15 and the likes of semi-automatic weapons like this, they look cool. Well, you could pick up a wood stock rifle, semi-automatic, that could do just as much damage as these. Just as much. You're going to ban those too? Those aren't considered assault weapons. The answer is yes, they will. Because they could ban assault weapons like they did in 92, I believe it was. 93, whatever it was under Clinton. Didn't do anything. Columbine. The Columbine shootings happened while there was an assault weapon ban in this country. They ban these. It's just a stepping stone to ban any semi-automatic rifle, which that now involves, you have an M1 Garand from World War II. The old grandpappy passed it down to his dad, and dad gave it to you. And now you have a wonderful World War II era semi-automatic rifle. They'll come after those. No semi-automatic rifle, just bolt action. And then someone will commit a mass shooting with a bolt action rifle, and they'll need to ban that. They don't stop, is what it is. You can't let them get this. You can't let them get these horrible weapons of war, which they're not. Because then they just move right on to something else. Right on to something else. Look at Canada, assault weapons. But now you can't get any gun. They banned pistols in Canada. They're a bunch of fairies up there anyway. They don't even give a shit that they're, I don't even know. I don't think they have rights like that up there. They definitely don't have a Second Amendment. Oh, my God. So here is an interesting thing. This, I don't know what this magazine is. Maybe some of you do out there. It's a magazine cover, and it's showing a transgender woman, a man, holding a rifle. And there is threatening text on the cover of this magazine. Let's take a look at this thing. The magazine and the thing on the cover of the magazine. Eugene Weekly. I checked. This is real. This person has a rifle in their hand. And the headline here is, as the Trump administration attacks people, some folks are armed and ready to bash back. Are you triggered? That's a threat. What is the Trump administration doing to attack people? Not celebrating that guys are dressed like women? Having rainbow flags removed from crosswalks? I think crosswalks are painted like that for a reason. High visibility. People understand what they are. This is where pedestrians are going to be crossing. So you could, on safety reasons alone, come up with some reason you need to get rid of these things. The other thing is, why? Why are you celebrating men dressed like women in a crosswalk? Especially when people have been charged and arrested for leaving rubber tire marks on these crossings or murals that they paint in the middle of the road to depict the gay, whatever the fuck flag. And then they'll leave a skid all the way down it, or a couple of kids were on little scooters and they were doing like donuts and leaving skids on the mural. They were arrested for what? Defacing graffiti? Something that's painted on a street where tires roll over it all the time? But if you apply the brakes at a certain time with a certain strength, you're now a criminal? Does that make any fuck sense at all? Of course it doesn't. So by removing these things, that is what that magazine was just saying, Trump and his administration attacking the gender community. And that gives them an excuse to pick up arms and bash back with the "are you triggered?" as this fucking freak of nature mental patient is holding a rifle. And this is new. This magazine is like, it's not from a few years ago. Was there inspiration from this? From the mental patient that shot up a church full of kids? I don't know. Could be. You know, I guess magazine is protected under the First Amendment if you can prove that that is some type of threat or a call to action to violence, then it is not protected under the First Amendment. But that's pretty hard to prove. I could tell you one thing, that isn't parody. I know that a lot of parody gets accused of some type of threat or libel, slander that isn't covered under the First Amendment. And when those things go to court, it's very difficult to make a judgment on whether parody is protected. And many years ago, they decided, what was it? It was the big case, the United States versus, what's his name there from Hustler? Know that one, Sean?
Larry Flint, right?
Larry, yes. Larry Flint. There was a big fucking landmark case about the protected First Amendment status of parody. Because he had stuff in his Hustler magazine that was just, oh my God. And it was parody. And they ruled that if reasonable people looked at this, would they think it's real? Or would they know? A reasonable person, would they know it was parody? And that was the decision that was put down at that time. And the parody that was in Hustler magazine was looked at in a way that, of course, it's so ludicrous, it's so ridiculous that anyone would look at it and go, oh, this is a goof. And also the context. It's in Hustler magazine. It's not in the New York Times. It's, you got to look at the big picture. When I look at that, I'm not seeing that as parody. That's a gay magazine. And it caters to gay and people. And there's nothing on there that shows parody. This is a threat attacking people. Some are armed and ready to bash back. Are you triggered? And there's the gun holding. I don't know. Again, you might be hard pressed to prove that that's a threat, but it's certainly not parody. So I don't know. Influencing the mentally ill, they'll be influenced over anything. Something that absolutely has nothing to do with being a threat of violence. They'll look at it and go, oh, that's speaking to me. What they're asking me to do is kill people. And you're like, what the fuck? It's Highlights magazine in a dentist office.
Do you remember this? When Gabby Giffords was shot in 2011, they made a big deal saying Sarah Palin was targeting her because of specifically this right here.
Oh, yeah. The targets. It's like, oh, here's certain cities and districts, and they used whatever targets to denote the spot. And that was a huge thing. Oh my God, look, there's a target, and that's where Giffords got shot. And this is what they look at like, see, this is a threat. Or the one I bring up all the time about Trump going, it'll be a bloodbath if Biden or Harris win. And he was talking about the Detroit automotive industry, Ford Motor Company, a financial bloodbath, a term that's used in finance, has been used forever. Oh my God, it was a bloodbath on Wall Street yesterday. Stocks were down 350 points. But they try to make that sound like it was a dog whistle. Like Trump meant there'll be blood in the streets if he's not elected. They actually said that Trump said blood will run in the streets. It'll be a bloodbath if he doesn't win. And then they have shit like this, and they've been threatening violence. I mean, we heard Gavin Newsom talking about, getting out there and punching him in the face. That wasn't a metaphor. Literally telling people to punch people in the face. And everything with the right, the Republicans, the conservatives, the other side of what they are, everything, no matter how innocent, is a dog whistle for violence. When they are literally calling out for violence and perpetrating the violence. I mean, all these fucking shootings are done by liberal mental patients. I know there's a couple, but again, those are just incidental instances. For the most part, these are mental patient liberals that are doing these horrible acts. Oh my God. So if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.